We continue with a developing story out of Old Trafford. The owner of global chemical company Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, has submitted a formal bid to buy Manchester United, the most valuable club in England. Sir Ratcliffe's bid was submitted on Thursday following confusion at deadline time on Wednesday. Ratcliffe and rival bidder, Qatari banker Sheikh Jassim, had requested an extension to submit revised offers. The length of the extension is still unclear. Ratcliffe, though, has made his move, while Jassim is said to still be preparing his revised offer now. Reports suggest that the first bids were both world records, so it can be inferred that the bids were in excess of the £4.2 billion which Todd Boehly paid to purchase Chelsea. And as if this deal couldn't get any more blockbuster, there's a third offer that we know about. Finnish entrepreneur Thomas Ziliakos also submitted a bid on Thursday. Ziliakos wants to buy half of the club, with the other half bought by fans who will be part of the decision-making process. There's also news just coming through that Elliott Investment Management, former US owners of AC Milan, have submitted a bid for a minority stake in Manchester United after initially offering a financing plan to interested parties. So that is what is the latest coming out of this Manchester United, or bid for Manchester United. Now, Lance Mariah, I think the bid that has everyone glued is this latest one. Finnish entrepreneur Thomas Ziliakos wanting to buy half and have fans take care of the other half and be part of the decision-making process.
Well, what I will say, first of all, based on all the different offers, because we have to look at it, I think, from an outside perspective, right? So I'm looking at all the different offers on the table, and I will say, first of all, I was very, very shocked that a lot of the bidders missed the deadline, which was 9 p.m. last night. They decided to come out afterwards. And the thing is, initially we thought that all the bids were in and everything was happy, and we would find out who would have won the bid eventually. Only this could never be straightforward. News broke that, of course, you know, they had two of the bidders had asked for extra time, and it was two of the juicier bidders, the ones that, you know, everybody was hoping would actually put up a good bid and secure the club. What I will say, though, is this, as exciting as it is for Manchester United fans, I will tell you, do not be so excited, because these owners, the Glazers, they want £6 billion for the club, right? Which is a lot. It's a lot of money. Now, I don't think they are willing to allow any bidder to come in and pay less for that. So I think that's where the problem is. If they don't get the amount, and I think the most amount that has been put forward to them is around $5 billion, and that's just reports coming out. We haven't really heard from the bidders just yet an exact figure. Now, let's just say that these bidders don't meet the amount that the Glazers want. I think they are willing to stick and keep their club, and then all this bidding process falls right through, and you'll end up with your same Glazers owner. So that's a standpoint that we can think about it from as well.
Yeah, I think with these stories generally, and as stories develop, you hear different things at different points of the process.
Yes.
And this, I think, is one of those stories, because what you have just suggested regarding the Glazers and what they want and how much they want, there have also been reports saying that no one is really sure what the Glazers want, how much the Glazers want.
I was about to say that, because those figures that are being quoted have been speculative.
Yes.
It hasn't been conclusive what the Glazers want for the club.
Which is a problem in itself,
yeah.
because it isn't clear.
I don't think it's a problem. If I were the Glazers, I would be saying, come with your best offer.
Yes.
And I will choose from that best offer. It is in the best interest of the Glazers that maybe they leave it open,
yes,
and allow the bidders to go as high as
have it floating. Have it floating, because their asking price in their minds or their projection could actually be less than what someone would want to pay for it.
Okay.
I mean, kind of unlikely, but in the business world, that is probably how they are thinking.
And another thing I have a lot of confusion about, because this entire thing is more questions than answers, right? And that's the truth. Until somebody really wins the bid, then we'll have some sort of clarity. The fact that Jim Ratcliffe and the Qataris, they didn't meet the deadline, I have an issue with that, because what do they need this extra time for? And how much extra time do they need? Is it that they're trying to like get an advantage over the other one? Like, what's the purpose?
Well, remember they had submitted initial bids,
yes,
and these are now revised bids, and they requested more time. And you suspect that the revised bids would also be improved bids, and so that's what we're looking at here.
What of this latest Ziliakos proposition,
he
though, buying half of the club and the fans own the other half? How would that work?
I'm trying to figure that out myself. And I guess this is where you would come in, Lance. You could be one of those, well, you're not a fan.
What am I? What am I? What am I?
Well,
since I'm not a fan.
I could be one of those fans.
He didn't say the fans had to be passionate and the fans had to...
I'm just saying.
The fans just had to have money.
Lance is not a fan, but I don't want to take the conversation there right now.
Okay.
But yes, it is quite interesting, Lance, to try and figure out exactly how that would work.
Yes. I'm at a loss, actually.
With 50% being owned by the fans, and the fans being part of the decision making, I guess everything would come down to a vote on the part of those fans for that percentage, which I'm not sure would be in the best interest of Manchester United, or indeed in the best interest of any club, to be honest. So that is an interesting proposal, and we'll see how that one goes. As it is now, they're waiting on the revised bid for the Qataris to come in, and we are unsure, we're uncertain at this stage as to the length of the extension, because all we know is that an extension was given, but it has not been said, it has not been reported whether that extension would end today, whether it goes up to tomorrow. We don't know at this stage.
But the clock is ticking.
But the understanding is, and the latest news coming out, is that the Qataris are preparing their revised bid, and it is expected to come in shortly.
Yeah.
I have a question. Both of you all are Manchester United fans. How seriously are you taking Jim Ratcliffe and the fact that he wants to buy Manchester United? Because I was reading some reports earlier today and listening to a couple interviews in preparation for the show, and Jim Ratcliffe had bid for Chelsea, or had expressed interest in buying Chelsea when they were being sold.
Well, his shifted interest to Man United would be an upgrade, wouldn't it? From Chelsea.
We're not talking about the upgrade. He fell through. He didn't buy it. He was late.
I'm just saying.
He has a history.
He has bigger fish to fry now. So where's Chelsea?
But is he serious about frying this fish? And is Manchester United worth £6 billion? That's the question.
Well, the thing is, again, we don't know exactly how much the Glazers are asking for, and we don't know how much they are willing to settle for. I think maybe a more pertinent question could be whether the Glazers actually want to sell. Now, there have been reports in the last 2 or 3 hours that have said that, yes, they definitely want to sell. They are ready to sell. Before that, there were questions around whether that was actually the case. So I guess we'll see in the coming days whether they are serious about selling. Because remember, the Glazers came under tremendous pressure from the fan base of Manchester United, from players as well. We remember that infamous Cristiano Ronaldo interview, who can forget? But the fortunes of Manchester United have dramatically turned. And so the Glazers might be at a stage where they're thinking, do we actually have to sell?
Dramatically turned.
Yes, dramatically turned. Manchester United, they've won a title. They're in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. They're in the quarter-finals of the Europa League, top 4 of the English Premier League,
second in the Premier League just a few seasons ago?
That's a long time ago, lads.
That's a long time.
That's a long time ago since the Glazers have come under immense pressure. Nobody even remembers when Jose Mourinho was coaching Manchester United.
I just find it a little questionable to suggest that Manchester United's image has dramatically turned when at the moment they aren't challenging for the Premier League title.
Lance, Manchester United is not in the Champions League, was not in the Champions League this season.
Yes.
That tells you everything you need to know. Manchester United was not good enough last year in England to book a spot in the Champions League this season.
Well, let's
so
hope
yes,
for
it's
your
been
sake.
a dramatic turnaround under the guidance of Eric Ten Hag.
Let's hope for your sake
I would say there's a turnaround. I would hesitate to say dramatic.
Remember as well, Lance, that Eric Ten Hag started the season losing his first 2 matches.
Yes.
Yeah, and getting spanked. It's been a dramatic turnaround.
Yeah, let's take a break. But I hope for your sake, you all are in the Champions League come next season.
They will be.
Hope.
Break time. They will be.
Yes,
I tried to defend you. Break time.
Love it, Lance. They and Manchester United, of course, were they. Yeah, man.
Yes,
Let's take a
break
break.
time.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news, and entertainment.